surprised MSNBC and CNN aren't really covering the trial too much tonight. So now that we know Jussie is guilty of making it all up, will the media ever issue a correction? Let's get into it with tonight's party panel. We've got comedian and host of Fox Across America on Fox Radio. It is Jimmy Fallon. Hey now. We've got Democrat strategist, radio host, and Fox News contributor, Leslie Marshall Gurr. Nice to see you, sister. And host and producer of Radical with Shane Hazel. It's a podcast. He's the Georgia Libertarian gubernatorial candidate. Shane Hazel is back. Welcome, everybody.
Love it. Good to see you, girl.
Crazy night. We were not shocked to see a verdict on the second day of deliberations here, Jimmy, but I keep going back to why would a successful guy on a hit network show, why on earth would you jeopardize your career? Why did he do this in the first place?
Because we are living in a society that has incentivized victimhood. These days, being a victim doesn't just come with sympathy, it comes with currency. You might get a raise, you might get more notoriety, you might generate more empathy and sympathy for your brand in public. People are encouraged to be victims. I'm so mad because this puts people like me, who spend a lot of money on Craigslist to get beat up after hours.
That's right.
This puts a really negative light on guys like me.
So, Jim, are you still writing checks, or do your assailants take Venmo? Have they moved into?
Yeah, it's all Bitcoin. 2021, girl. Don't make me an old man about it. I'm hip about it. Bottom line. But no, shame on him. Really quick, I just want to say this: the people that are inflaming racial tensions with no regard for how it affects society are the worst people on earth. And every race pimp out there that runs with a disingenuous narrative like this, without the facts, as they just did in that media montage, are the reason society is as on edge as it is.
Yeah.
So this is a win for everybody.
All right, so Leslie, there were a lot of people who, they were outraged. They were so offended when anyone suggested that this whole thing was made up. And it looks like Jussie Smollet was doing it to embarrass the former president because he hated Trump so much. And he figured if he could just make his racist voters look like violent Klan member thugs, that could harm the president and make him lose in 2020. He didn't even need Jussie Smollett to lose.
Very, very true. A couple of things here. One, Jimmy, if I'm hormonal, I'll do it for free. I'll beat you, anybody else up for free when I'm hormonal. Second, remember a woman named Susan Smith? Well, I had my radio show back then, as I do now, and I went on and I said, I don't know, I think she killed her kids. People wanted to kill me for saying that. Turned out I was right. I felt something smelled with this. I know, Leslie, after the fact, it's easy to say they too were right. But I was right here, and there were people that are wrong. In almost every issue, we see that, whether it's left or right, black or white, female or male. Look, he got what he deserved, which is a guilty verdict on 5 out of 6 counts. And he probably won't serve a day in prison, but he's still convicted. That's on his record forever. And he's ruined his career. And to your point, Kennedy, I think it's ego and greed that led him and leads others when they're at the top to not think the top is high enough and want more to go higher. And then lastly, just terrible to those individuals who are African Americans or are gay, part of the LGBTQ community, and have been attacked verbally or physically for their color or their sexual orientation. Just horrific thing that he's done to 2 groups that he belongs to.
Yeah, good point. So, Shane, what does your gut tell you about what he will face and what he should face in terms of punishment? Because I know you're a big fan of mass incarceration.
Yeah, huge fan.
Yeah.
Listen, nobody was hurt in this. Did he inflame some racial tensions? Of course he did. That's not what we need. I think this is a mental illness, and the fact that he's going to probably get his worst punishment from the people on Twitter might actually be a pretty stern punishment for the guy who's kind of dealing with, I don't know, maybe falling out of popularity, but I mean, I don't know. The whole story just seems to be more about mental illness than anything else in this country, and that's obviously a huge problem. And let's not diminish the fact that this really kind of takes away from Ahmaud Arbery and guys where we actually see real crime, like if we're going to label it a hate crime, things like that.
Jim, did you want to say something quickly?
Yes, I mean, just a shout out to Kamala Harris for tweeting that Jussie was the greatest guy in the world and he wouldn't make this up. Just want to leave that there.
Last we checked, the tweet is still up. So
Still up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Trust those instincts, Madam Vice President. Jimmy, Leslie, and Shane, they are sticking around. Lots more to get to. Well, there's still one Scrooge to worry about this Christmas. Gain-of-function guru and notorious dog torturer Anthony Fauci now wants you to fight with your family. He says Americans should demand that their holiday guests and families show their papers at parties. Watch this. Show me evidence that you didn't know exactly what was going on in Wuhan, and show me evidence you didn't help cause this entire global pandemic, Mr. CYA. So are you ready to scan your family's QR codes before they open up their presents and sip a little nog? Or is it time to leave Dr. Fauci and Christmas past? The party panel is back. Jimmy Fallon, Leslie Marshall, and Shane Hazel. Jim, go ahead. Just take a whack at this piñata. Have at it.
Oh, well, really quick, thank you for shouting out the Christmas tree lighting. It was so nice that I'm actually going to go to next week's Christmas tree lighting, too. It was amazing. It was glorious. But Fauci, hold on a second here. I love that he's talking as if any of us care at this point.
Yeah.
You know, Fauci has gotten addicted to hair and makeup. The guy likes going on TV. He knows there's no version of him having a TV career if people calm down about COVID. So he keeps peeing in the proverbial punch bowl.
Oh.
Nobody is taking a COVID test at a Christmas party. If you're that scared, don't go.
Exactly.
And to that point, he is undermining faith in the vaccine more than anybody by terrifying the vaccinated. Okay, I mean, what is he saying? If you believe the vaccine works, which I do, I got the vaccine, as you know, Johnson & Johnson. I got the Magic Johnson and Keyshawn Johnson. They didn't tell me that until after. I can't catch COVID, but man, can I catch a pass. But the point is, if you think the vaccine works, act like the vaccine works.
Yes, that is the worst marketing, and we've been saying this for months, Leslie. It's not 2020. It's the end of 2021. If you're vaccinated, you're protected. If you're not, you know the risks. So have a holiday soiree.
Maybe I'm speaking a different language, or I hear things differently, because I heard Anthony Fauci say, ask people if they're vaccinated. I had a baby shower last weekend. The woman who was having the baby requested that I do just that because she's high risk. I did. Nobody had a problem with it. I didn't have a problem with it. Everybody here at my house was vaccinated. I have a cousin having Christmas party when I go home to Boston for Christmas to see my family, as I haven't been able to for a year and a half. I have no problem showing a vaccine card, because there are some people out there that are vulnerable or live with people that are vulnerable. There are people that can't get the vaccine. My mother is one of them. So
really
for the rest
point,
of the people that are gathered, it's good to have information. Who's vaccinated, who isn't. If you're all vaccinated, we can take off our masks, we can hug, we can drink out of the same flask.
Sorry, you were boring me to death with your talking points. Jimmy, go ahead.
You're speaking to a very
I was boring you to death. So sorry.
You were speaking to a very subset of people. He is giving a blanket generalization to all of society.
Yes.
He's not addressing the immunocompromised in that moment. He's addressing everybody.
I'm glad you brought that up, Jim, because he's not just giving anecdotal evidence like Leslie Marshall, which should never be the basis of policy. He is the highest paid official in the federal government, acting on behalf of the government every time he opens his claptrap, telling us yet again what we should be doing with our lives. That's my problem with the whole thing here, Shane.
Yeah, Dr. Fauci's pretty 2020, and I mean early 2020. I just wonder what Joe Rogan would suggest at this point, right? And I think he's going to tell you, get your health in order, right? Low body fat, eat a good diet, up your vitamin D. I mean, look at what Dana White came out and said this past week in terms of going on the Dr. Joe Rogan prescription. Like, he tested negative for COVID in 5 days. The study's been in. We've seen them. Project Veritas went in and did the hit piece on Pfizer, where their own Pfizer scientists told you that your immune system was better off. And if you're under 70 and you are 99.95% likely to survive, and that's with comorbidity factor in. Go have a great Christmas, Hanukkah, hang out with your family, love on them. Don't ask them for papers, for God's sakes.
No, we are beyond that. You know the risks. You've had the jab, and let's go from one phony to another. Hillary Clinton teaching a masterclass on how to never get over losing. In a new video series purporting to teach resilience, the People's Pantsuit staged a dramatic reading of what would have been her 2016 victory speech. Here are the lowlights. She's not crying because she misses her mom. She does not possess a soul. She's crying because she lost. Jim, why? Number one, why is she doing this now? Number two, why is anyone giving her a platform to do this? It's embarrassing.
Well, my favorite part about that speech is she charged them for the speech at the end. They're like, wait, what? I owe you $250,000? What do you mean? I thought this was a course. Here, I have a theory, and you might call me crazy. But, they do say, as you know, the presidency is a disease that's only curable by death. If you want to be president, you die thinking about nothing but wanting to be president. I think in the back of her mind, she wants to run again. She's trying her hand at image rehabilitation because, face it, she'll be younger in 2024 than Joe Biden is now, and the bench is terrible. If you saw the poll that came out on potential Democratic nominees, they don't want Biden to run again, not that he ran the first time. There were more Elvis sightings during the summer of 2020 than Biden sightings. But Kamala is polling behind ISIS. She is not a serious candidate. When you're at 28% in the polls as vice president, no one looks at that and goes, oh, you need a bigger job than the one you're polling at 28% at. She sees an opening. I think this is image rehab. She's trying to make it look like she's human.
That is exactly what I thought when I saw this. She's reading those polls. She's watching the news. She knows that the country has rejected Kamala Harris. They're terrified about the prospect of Joe Biden fulfilling his first and what will be his only term in office. So Hillary Clinton looks at that and she's like, baby, I'm rested. I'm spry. I'm gonna run again, and I'm gonna run against Donald Trump.
Believe it.
Leslie?
I don't think she's going to run again, because if she were, she'd save the speech and read it for when she runs and wins, because we still don't have a woman in the first position in the White House. Honestly, anybody who's watching her master's class is a big fan. And honestly, after she lost, I saw a number of people online asking, what would you have said if you had won?
Yeah.
So obviously people still want to know. She was sharing it with people. But I think it's a good idea, Jimmy. Thank you for giving Hillary. I'll be sure to text her and give her the idea to run in 2024.
Because she hadn't thought about that. No, she hadn't thought about that. Is she, are you kidding me? Is she drinks at the bar every night with a presidential seal in front of the bar stool?
She has a picture of John Podesta on the middle of a dartboard, and she just lobs Tito's bottles and vases at that thing every night. Around 9:30, when her BAC is about a 0.75, she just starts hucking stuff. And Bill's like, oh, God, oh, sweet death, come for me now. Shane, your thoughts?
I mean, I guess there's somebody more dislikable than Kamala, and she's going to capitalize on it in any way she can. I mean, the only thing that Hillary Clinton's going to teach anybody is how to lose an election to Donald Trump. If she's going to run in 2024, she'll probably lose to DeSantis. I mean, outside of that, creating fake dossiers in Russia, wiping the servers and abandoning her ambassador, like, that's the only thing that she's going to teach people. Don't get caught. That's the message from Hillary Clinton.
No, don't get caught. What difference does it make? I can't. You know what? I look forward to all of those things coming back to bite her in the sweet keister. All right, Party Panel's going to stick around. Some of President Biden's critics say he's too old to be president, like when he forgets to unmute himself in Zoom meetings or breaks wind in front of a British princess. But how old is gassy Grandpa Joe? We here on the SS Canadalia decided to find out with one of our very favorite games, Biden Time. I will ask the panel, what's older, Joe Biden or a particular product, invention, or historical event? Whoever wins gets a dinner with the cast of Matlock. Yeah. Stakes are high. Only Jimmy is higher. Jimmy, Leslie, and Shane, are you all ready to play?
I'm winning tonight. Tonight's the night I win a game. I'm doing it.
All right, here we go. Sorry, I got to make my grid. Jimmy and Leslie and Shane. Woo! Wait, hold on. There we go. There's that. And we're ready to play. Question number 1 for Big Jim Fela. What came first, Joe Biden or the Pez dispenser?
Ooh, 42 of the Pez. I'm going to say Pez dispenser, oddly enough. I think it's been around.
And you would
Stop
be
it.
wrong. Joe Biden. The candy was invented in 1927, but in 1949, the first dispenser was officially introduced at the Vienna Trade Fair. Isn't that weird? Oh, we're in Vienna. Leslie, are you ready? Jimmy has 0. You could win the game here, Leslie. Okay, there you go. All right, Leslie. Which came first, Joe Biden or the Ritz cracker?
I'm going to say the Ritz cracker.
And you would be on the board. Leslie Marshall. It was introduced by Nabisco, brought to you by Nabisco in 1934 to compete with the Hi-Ho cracker. That's what my friends in high school used to say to me. That was made by Sunshine Biscuits. Okay. Here you go, Shane. Here is your first question. Which came first, Joe Biden or the NBA?
Oh, golly. I should probably know this. The NBA.
Joe Biden, actually. The NBA was founded in New York City in 1946 as the Basketball Association of America. It changed its name to the NBA in 1949. Joe Biden. He was invented in 1942. All right. Sorry, Leslie, I told you you're the big winner so far. You won round 1. You've got 1 point. Jimmy and Shane, time to catch up. Jim, here is your next question. Jim, which came first, Joe Biden or the film Casablanca?
Bum, bum. It's Humphrey Bogart. Ow, Biden.
That's absolutely right. The film debuted 6 days after Joe Biden was born. Joe Biden is, in fact, older than Casablanca. You are tied with Leslie Marshall. Okay, Leslie, you can hop into the lead once again with this. Which came first, Joe Biden or the Happy Birthday to You song?
Ooh. I'm gonna say the Happy Birthday to You song is older.
Oh, you are right, Leslie Marshall, on the money and on point tonight. She's got 2 points. Shane, you got to get on the board with this one. All right, which came first, Joe Biden or Velcro?
Oh, Joe Biden for sure.
Joe Biden is correct. Shane Hazel also on the board. Everyone has scored. Velcro invented in 1955 by a man named George de Mestral. He thought the idea when he came back from a walk in the woods and noticed pointy plants had become stuck in his pants. That rhymes.
Hate that.
All right, here you go, Jim. Next question. Let's see if you can tie Leslie Marshall with this. Which came first, Joe Biden or Diet Soda?
What? I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm actually going to say Joe Biden.
And Joe Biden is older than Diet Sody Pop. The first diet soft drink was a beverage called No Cal, developed in 1952. Joe Biden was already 71 then. All right, Leslie, here we go. Which came first, Joe Biden or soccer cleats? No.
I'm going to say Joe Biden.
Ed, you would be wrong. Nope,
Yes.
Leslie, you are now tied with Jim. The first known cleats or football boots made in 1526 for King Henry VIII. Hear ye, where are my boots? All right, here you go, Shane. You can also tie with this one. Which came first, Joe Biden or the Frisbee, Shane?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
And he is correct. It's a 3-way tie, party people, going into the final last round.
Wow.
Frisbee invented in 1948 when Joe Biden was getting his PhD. All right, here we go. Quick round, lightning round, 2 points apiece. Jim, which came first, Joe Biden or chicken nuggets?
Joe Biden all day.
Absolutely right. Jimmy's now in the lead with 4. Leslie, which came first, Joe Biden or the CIA?
Oh, I'm going to say Joe Biden.
Yes, you are tied with the lead, Shane. You can make it a 3-way tie. Which came first, Joe Biden or ketchup?
Joe Biden.
No, the answer is ketchup. Jimmy, you and Leslie are going on a super hot, sexy date with the cast of Matlock. I envy all of you. Shane, great job there. Almost had it at the end. Party panel, thank you all for playing tonight. Appreciate you.
You're the best. Anytime.
Thank
I'm going to
you.
give the speech. I'm going to give the speech I would have gave if I won.
Okay, you can do it during the commercial. Bye.